kinds of explanations for these problems. And that's not the only, I would find you more. In other words, the genealogies don't agree. So you say, which one is right? Well, in fact, in the end, if they don't agree, and you've only got two testimonies, then basically have to throw them both out. You can't rely on either of them. You either, neither is one is better than the other is what I'm trying to say. Well, but the Catholic Church or people in the mindset of that particular institution tries to get around this in catechism classes. I'm not sure how the Protestants work it. But they try to say, oh, one is the genealogy of Jesus' father and the other is the genealogy of Jesus' mother. They recognize that there are problems in the genealogies. The problem is Jesus' mother is supposed to be priestly in Luke. That is, she's related to John the Baptist's mother, and they have a priestly lineage. It's possible that you mix Davidic and priestly lineages and so on. I think that, as usual, just has the, I don't say smell about it, but maybe odor is a better word, more pleasant word, of cobbling together something after the fact to try to satisfy issues of this kind that come up among curious parishioners. I don't think it really, I think it begs the question. There's another thing that begs the question here too. What's that? Well, once the Son of God conceptuality came into being, and you can say Jesus is the Son of God insofar as Adam is the Son of God, and Luke, if he's descended from Adam, he's the Son of God, but one of the manifold sons of God. All mankind, according to Judaism, are sons of God, at least all the righteous ones. The righteous ones, I think it's Book of Proverbs, are all the sons of God, or maybe it's in Wisdom. One of those two. You can look it up in a concordance. But Joseph is not supposed to be Jesus' real father. So what are we giving the genealogies here for anyway? This is just an exercise in, I don't want to say futility. Now, I'm not kind to documents. Forgive me. Do not be hurt. I told you that in the beginning of the class. In your church, or whatever institution you attend, if you attend any, I didn't go to a synagogue the other day to do anything that they do there, so don't think I'm sitting in there praying like a madman. I'd rather go to the beach and look at herons. I get more inspiration from looking at beautiful things and natural beauty than I would anything else, and I certainly don't like to hear some boring prelate of one of the other kinds intoned to me. But that's a personal preference, so don't blame me for anything. I'm not doing any of these things, though I think it's nice to show community solidarity. I really do. I think community, and I think many people go to institutions to show community solidarity. My best example are our presidents, George Bush. I mean, I don't think he really enjoys going to church. Bill Clinton, I can't really imagine that guy in church. Given all his sins, I mean personal sins. I just don't get it, frankly. And his wife, Hillary. I mean, I can see Bush's wife in church, frankly. And maybe Bush, tries to go. I can't see Bush's father in church, frankly. He's just not the type. He's too smooth. He's much too smooth. But they'll go, I think, to display community solidarity and to give an identity. I'm not criticizing them. I just think that's what they do. And I'm not judging them. Whom I judge, I'm nobody. They're more important than all of us, so whatever we say means nothing. They're correct. But like a lot of people, they express community solidarity by going to an institution. So I don't think that because we have some problems here, this should undermine your singing a hymn or paying homage to the tradition of your ancestors or feeling solidarity with fellow parishioners with whom you feel, to whom you feel close. Well, why should it? Because you're exercising your brain in another venue doesn't mean you should, not enjoy the feeling of, look, you go to a football game for your high school, or we don't have a team at this university, after George Allen's father, the guy that's running for Senate in Virginia, his father was the last football coach here at Long Beach State. You probably don't remember that far back, but he promised a winning season, and he got a winning season, so he was an older guy, and all the players were so happy they took and ran over and took the ice water bucket and threw it over his head. He promptly caught pneumonia and died 3 days later.
That's right.
I shouldn't lie, I shouldn't at which point they cut the football program out of Cal State Long Beach. That's a bit of our recent history. How many of you know that story? Only him and I, only the old guys know that history. So look, if people go to these things and you feel, you go to your high school. I always thought that the high school was really the glue of America, the loyalty to high school, and so on. And people who travel around a lot miss that a lot. But the high school loyalty, even though that lady said, oh my God, we get away from some of those people. But at the time, you're involved in this big loyalty display, or disloyalty, as you might have been feeling. But in any case, it's there, and so everyone goes out and cheers, however, and you get a sense of well-being from that, even though your team maybe lose every time, or 3/4 of the time. There's a well-being, how did our high school do? I mean, you don't care how the other high school did. You only care how your high school did in whichever sport, because that's what the Arab historian Ibn Khaldun, I really am rambling today. I got nothing new. Ibn Khaldun wrote a book called The Introduction to History in around the 13 or 1400s. And he had a theory of society, and he said the glue that holds society together in Arabic is a thing called asabiya, which translated into English is group solidarity. These are the things that make empires, kingships, countries powerful. And I think if you look at America back in the Second World War, you can just feel the asabiya there. I mean, it was there. I mean, I was seeing something on the Battle of the Pacific War, and they got one of the pilots, he's still alive, who was in the Battle of Midway. I mean, he's like got gray hair, one of the key guys who dropped bombs on that was a turning point in the Pacific War in 1942, if you're not familiar with